Hi everyone, I thought today I would show you how to make a really simple summer ferment. It's one of my absolute favourite ones. It's spicy radish bombs. Obviously what you need to make this is lots of lovely wee radishes that are in season just now. We need some radishes, some lemon, a red onion or some spring onions, some fresh ginger, some fresh garlic. I've got a couple of bay leaves which I grow in the garden. They're really good actually for keeping your ferments nice and crisp, because I've got tannins in them. So a couple of bay leaves, some kind of a spice, coriander seeds or pickling spice is what I like to use for this recipe. It gives things a really nice flavour. If you get a pickling spice mix, it's got like coriander seeds, juniper berries, mustard seeds, different things, a nice mix of different seeds in there. So some pickling spice, I'd recommend to get that. And then I've got a brine made up here, which is just a tablespoon of sea salt, and I've got pink Himalayan salt, any natural salt will do, and a couple of teaspoons of sugar, just to balance the flavours up. And what I've got is I've got that in a jug, and I've just put in a litre of water from a jug, filtered water. If you use tap water has chlorine in it. Because this is a fermentation, it's an active fermentation, chlorine can affect the bacteria, so we don't want to use chlorinated water. So if you haven't got a filter jug, pour your water out overnight and leave it, and the chlorine will evaporate off. So what else you need to do this is you need a glass jar of some sort. I'd highly recommend the clip top jars. You can buy them everywhere. IKEA, all the supermarkets have them. You can clip them really tightly shut and that will keep oxygen out of your ferment. You don't require to sterilise anything. This is a ferment, so you just need to wash your jar in hot soapy water and then rinse it in hot water. So it couldn't really get any simpler than this. So once you have your clean jar, you get your jar, you're just going to sort of start layering your ingredients in. So I've got 2 bay leaves, I'm going to put them in. I've got a few slices of ginger. Ginger's fantastic, it's a really good anti-inflammatory, and it gives things a lovely flavour too. So I'm going to put in some ginger. I've got about 4 spring onions. You can use spring onions or red onions for this. If you're using spring onions, you just want to use the white part. And then what I'm going to do is just cut them roughly. You can just cut them long ways, because what we're doing with all these ingredients is we're actually just flavouring the brine. It's the radishes that we're going to actually eat. And then of course you can drink the brine, because it's absolutely delicious. So I'm going to put in some spring onions. Let's just put that one in whole. Something about red onions are fantastic for you. They're really high in an antioxidant called quercetin, which is one of the most potent antioxidants that there actually is. Fantastic for fighting cancer and whatever, loads of other things as well. Quercetin, again, when you ferment it, it becomes much more bioactive, so it means that your body can use it better. So I usually always tend to just put in a bit of red onion along with this as well. Another fantastic ingredient is garlic. I've got 3 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to bash them. That's a bit big, so I'll half that. Garlic again is nature's antibiotic, also gives you great flavour. It's also prebiotic, so it's food for all the good bacteria. So I'm going to put 3 cloves of garlic. I've just bashed them and put them in there. I'm going to put in a couple of teaspoons of my pickling spice. So again, you can see how easy this is. You just put everything in the jar. Right, so a couple of teaspoons of pickling spice at the bottom. I've got a nice lemon. I'm going to add about 3 slices of lemon. And again, because these are actually spicy radish bombs, so you want to add some chilli. I actually just use chilli flakes, so I'm going to add about 3 lovely slices of lemon and just layer them around the sides. And then what I'll do is I'm going to put some chilli, some crushed chillies in. Again, it depends how spicy you like them to be. They actually are lovely because I've got a real kick. Radishes, when you ferment them, I've got a wee bit of a kick anyway, so you can put in, it isn't means you have to just put in a wee sprinkling of chilli. So you can see how this just starts to look really lovely with all the different colours. Put the lemon up the side, and then what we're going to do, the radishes, all I've done is I've just washed them. I don't even bother taking the wee green bits off because they're all good. So what you then do is to start to fill up your jar. So again, you don't require to sterilise anything when you're fermenting anything. What you're doing is you're creating a brine environment that only the good bacteria can survive in. So pathogenic bacteria can't survive in a salt brine, and once the the lactobacillus bacteria get going, they'll create acid, which brings the pH down, which means that pathogenic bacteria can't survive in that at all. So you've no need to be concerned and think you're going to poison yourself, because you absolutely will not. Fermenting in vegetables is the safest way to preserve them, and this is one of the most delicious ferments as well. And what happens is, once you've fermented them, the brine goes the most beautiful pink colour, and the radishes are a gorgeous pink colour as well inside, and they're just absolutely delicious. So you can see I've kind of filled. You don't want to overfill your jar. What you want to do is to leave a wee gap at the top. So I've squashed all my radishes in, I've got all my lemons, spices and everything else. What I'm going to do, you make sure that you've got your salt, so that's a tablespoon of salt and a couple of teaspoons of sugar. I'm just going to pour that over the top. And right now what we need to do, which is really important, is the wee mantra for fermenting vegetables is under the brine and all is fine. You need to have all of your vegetables underneath that salt brine. If they are sticking up at all, what happens is you're going to get oxygen in there and you'll get cam yeast on them, which is a white wild yeast. It's like a precursor to mould. It's not harmful, but it will spread all the way through your ferment and is really annoying. And as I say, you will get that if you have any of these radishes sticking up from the salt brine. That's what you'll get. So what you need to do then is, so you haven't filled the jar right up to the top, you've left a small bit of a gap. Then what you need to do is make sure that they all stay underneath the brine. An idea that I actually came across quite by accident was the bottom end of a butternut squash. If you cut the bottom end off, not the top bit with the wee knobbly bit, the bottom bit, you can trim it to fit the size of your jar, and what you can do is you can just stick that in. Make sure you've got it trimmed properly, and what that will do is it will keep everything tightly sealed, and that just fits absolutely perfectly. Then what you can do is close your jar over, and that is absolutely perfectly sealed. What we're then going to do is leave that at room temperature for 7 to 14 days. I would try it probably after about 10 days. To me, 10 to 12 days is the ideal kind of time. And what will happen is the brine will become pink, that will become lovely and sour, and you'll get a real lovely flavour from it. Once you've used the radishes, and I use the radishes in potato salads, you can use them in salads, they look absolutely beautiful because they're a gorgeous pink colour. What you can then do is actually just drink the brine as like a gut shot, because it's absolutely delicious. With all of those flavours, you've got ginger, you've got garlic, you've got lemon, you've got the sour tang that you'll get from the fermentation, you've got the salt, you've got the bitterness from the radishes. And these are actually almost like digestive bitters that people used to have years ago. And what bitter foods do and sour foods do is they actually stimulate your digestive enzymes, so really help you to digest food. So if you've got a bit of an upset stomach, you're struggling a wee bit, and you've got some radish bombs, what you can do is just take a wee gut shot of the brine, and that will sort you right out, because the brine is absolutely teeming with probiotic bacteria, and it tastes great as well. So wee radish bombs, you can use them in salads. They're fantastic in cold potato salad, which is also great for your gut bacteria. You can use the brine in your salad dressings. You can drink it, you can add it to soups and whatever. So once you've finished your radishes, you just use the brine, don't pour it away. That's like liquid gold. You're pouring all sorts of good stuff away if you do that. So just to recap, once you've filled your jar and you've weighed it down, if you don't have a butternut squash, what you can do is use a wee Ziploc bag, and I know a lot of people don't like using plastic, but you're only using that while it's actively fermenting at room temperature. Then when you've finished fermenting it, you can take it out and put it in the fridge. If a wee Ziploc bag is also enough just to squash it in, and that will keep everything down. If you've got a bigger jar and you've got a bigger gap, you can use a wee goo pot, and that will sort of keep everything down as well. You can put the goo pot in the plastic bag, put that in the top and clip it down. What you then want to do is put a plate underneath to catch any of the brine that will escape, because what will happen is that will start to ferment, you'll start to get carbon dioxide, and the brine, some of the brine is going to come out. But you don't need to open it, that's perfectly sealed. The brine can get out through the wee plastic seal, so you just need to leave that somewhere in your kitchen, not in a windowsill, just leave it somewhere. You can put it in a wee sort of corner somewhere, put a plate underneath it, and then again you leave that for about 10 days or so, and then you can try them. If they're sour enough, then what you do is just put them in the fridge, and then you can enjoy them over a few months. What I will say is, Sometimes radishes are a bit sulphury and they don't smell that great. One of the times that I made them, they actually smelled that bad. I had to go and put them in the garage because everyone was complaining about the smell from the cupboard. But since then, I've actually not noticed that they're that bad. So if anyone complains, it's fine. Just put your jar out into the garage and keep an eye on them. So I hope you give that a go. And the recipe is on my blog, and I'll put the link in the description. So I hope you give that a go.